All right. Welcome to Wildcat Varsity Bowling. Hopefully everybody can hear me today. We had some technical issues last week, or on Friday's match, unfortunately, for senior night. Tonight's match is a non-conference match between the Wildcats of Napoleon and the Eagles of Liberty Benton. All right, we'll start over on the boys' side today. We've got Michael Gallagher up first on lane number 1. And Michael hits heavy and ends up splitting, leaving the 4, 6, 7, 10. Liberty Benton up now on lane 2. And they'll get 9, leaving the 4-pin. Michael now, his spare attempt. Ashton with a strike over on lane 3. Michael picks up 2 out of the 4. Picks up the 4, 7. Liberty Benton now on lane number 4. Starts out with a strike. Nice ball from him. Liberty Benton looking to pick up their spare here, lane number 2. Oh, and he missed inside. Brings up Jacob Hull now on lane number 3. And Jacob gets a strike. And I guess I missed Riley. Riley led off on lane number 3 for Napoleon. So 3 strikes in a row for Napoleon on lane number 3 for the first frame. Liberty Benton picked up an 8 on lane number 2, leaving a 4, 7. If somebody out there can give me a heads up or put in a comment that they can hear me, I'd appreciate it. And a strike for Liberty Benton down on lane number 3. Liberty Benton with their spare attempt on lane number 2 picks that up. Liberty Benton up on lane number 1 now. His first ball. And he splits, leaving the 4, 6, and 10. Liberty Benton leaving a 10-pin on lane number 3. Now Riley's up, start the second frame, lane number 4. And he had left a Greek church, the 4, 6, 7, 9, 10. He picks up 3. Liberty Benton now, spare attempt, lane number 3, picks that up, picks that 10-pin up. I'm not sure Liberty Benton picked up 1 pin on lane 1 or if that one came out of the gutter first. Look to see if they correct the score here. Ashton now, lane 4. That one comes in a little high and then leaves the 4, 7. Thanks, Tandy. Glad to know I can be heard. All right, Ashton picks up his spare on lane number 4. Michael with a spare on lane number 2 just a moment ago. Liberty Benton misses their spare attempt on lane number 1. We'll end up with 8 for the frame. Riley now, lane number 3. That one comes in high and splits on him again. Looks like the 4, 6, 7 down there. Jacob now, lane number 4, and the strike for Jacob. And Liberty Benton with a strike down on lane number 1. Mason now, spare attempt on lane number 2, picks up the 10 pin. Ashton now up on lane number 3. And he gets the 10 pin to drop. That's a strike for Ashton. Michael with a nice ball for a strike down on lane number 1. Liberty Benton picks up their spare on lane number 4. Liberty Benton splits over on lane number 2, leaving the 2, 4, 7, and 10. Jacob now, lane number 3. Nice ball from Jacob there. Strike for him. That's 3 in a row now. And another nice strike for Liberty Benton over on lane number 4. Mason picks up 8 on his first ball on lane number 1, leaving the 6-10. Liberty Benton, spare attempt, picks up 3 out of the 4 on lane 2. Liberty Benton gets the 4-pin to drop late on lane number 3 for the strike. Mason now, spare attempt, lane number 1, and he chops, picking up just the 10 pin. That'll be 9 for him. Liberty Benton with 9, leaving a 10 pin on lane number 2. Riley got 7 on his first ball. Looks like the 2, 5, and 7 left. Strike for Liberty Benton just a moment ago on lane number 3. And nice spare there from Riley, picking up the 2, 5, 7. Liberty Benton missed their spare attempt. Can't pick up the 10 on lane 2. Ashton's up now, lane number 4 for Napoleon. That one comes in a little bit light, it looked like. Leaves the 4 pin. Gets 9 on his first ball. Liberty Benton picks up a spare down on lane number 1. Liberty Benton on lane 2 resets. Ashton picks up his spare on lane 4. Nicely done. And Liberty Benton picks up 8, leaving the 6-10 down on lane 1. Now the Liberty player on lane 2 is ready. And he gets a strike. Jacob now up on lane 4 for Napoleon. Another nice ball from Jacob for a strike. Michael comes in light, picks up 5, leaving the 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8. There's a nice ball from Riley on lane number 3, picking up a strike. And Liberty Benton splits, leaving the 3-10 down on lane number 1. Liberty Benton gets them all to drop on lane number 4, though, for the strike. Ashton gets 9, leaving the 10 pin standing on lane number 3. Michael now, spare 10, lane 2, picks that up. Nice cover. All right, switch over to the girls match here. Carly Hone brings up for a spare attempt, the 4-pin on lane number 5. We got Spencer Schweiger over on lane number 8 with her first ball. This is in the 4th frame. Or I'm sorry, yeah, 4th frame. And she leaves the 2, 4, 5, picks up 7. Carly did make her spare. Liberty Benton picks up their spare on lane number 7. Liberty Benton with a split on lane number 6, leaving the 6, 7, and 10. Picks up 2 out of the 3. Ashlyn Highfield now up on lane number 5. Nice ball there. Picks up 9, leaves a 10 pin. Spencer picks up the spare on lane number 8. Nice cover. Liberty Benton with 8 on lane number 7, leaving the, looks like the 5-8. Liberty Benton with a split, leaving the 6, 7, 9, and 10 on lane 6. Ashland, spare attempt, holds on, nicely done. Liberty Benton picks up their spare, lane number 7, nicely done. Liberty Benton now, lane 8, picks up 8, leaving the 6-10. Liberty Benton, spare attempt, picks up 1 out of the 4 on lane 6. That gives her 7 for the frame. Jalen Rupel now up for Napoleon on lane number 5. And Jalen with a strike. She had strikes in the 3rd and 4th frame as well. Carly's up now, lane number 6. Oh, nice ball from Carly, but leaves the 10-pin standing. Liberty Benton picks up the spare on lane number 8. Liberty Benton also picks up their spare on lane number 7. Carly now, lane number 6, spare attempt. And it holds on. Ella Fox up now, lane number 7. She had a strike in the last frame. And let's make that a strike for this frame as well. 2 in a row, a double for Ella. Ashland now gets 9, leaves the 10-pin. Spencer now, lane number 7. Nice ball from Spencer there. Gets 10 in the pit for the strike. Liberty Benton picks up their spare on lane 8. Ashland now, her spare attempt. Won't quite hold on. So that'll be 9 for Ashland in the 6th frame. Liberty Benton picks up 7 on lane 7, leaving the 1, 2, 4. Liberty Benton picks up 9, leaving just the 2-pin on lane 8. Brings up Jalen now for her 6th frame. That one drove back to the pocket a little too hard, hit a little heavy, split, ends up leaving the 4-9. Carly picks up 6 on her first ball, leaving the 3, 6, 9, and 10. Liberty Benton picks up all but 1 on their spare attempt on lane number 7. That'll be 9 for her for the frame. Liberty Benton is successful with her spare on lane number 8. Jalen now, spare attempt here. Picks up 1 out of the 2. Carly, lane number 5. Oh, and it chops, gets 2 out of the 4. Liberty Benton with a split on lane number 7, leaving the 4, 7, and 9. There's 3 in a row now for Ella on lane number 8. That's 9 for Liberty Benton on lane 6, leaving the 5-pin on her first ball. And a strike from Ashland on lane number 5. Nice ball. Liberty picks up 1 out of 3 on lane number 7. She'll finish with 8 for the frame. That's the 6th frame. Spencer now up on lane number 8. And she gets 9, leaves the 7-pin standing. Jalen now up on lane number 5. Nice ball from Jay with a strike. Liberty Benton also with a strike over on lane number 7. Spencer now, spare attempt. Picks it up. Good cover there. Ella now, lane number 7. Getting ready to start her 7th frame. And she'll get 9, leaves the 5-pin. Liberty Benton with a strike down on lane number 5. Liberty Benton picks up 1 out of 3 on lane number 6. Picks up the 5-pin out of the 2-4-5. Ella picks up her spare on lane number 7. Liberty with 9, leaving a 5-pin on lane 8. Carly up now, lane number 6. Nice ball from Carly, gets them all to drop for a strike. Now Spencer next door in lane number 7. Oh, another nice ball, but this one leaves the 10-pin standing. All right, switch back to the boys. Got Michael up now, lane number 2, with his spare attempt. And he won't get any more. That'll be 8 for the frame for him. Ashton up now, lane number 3. Ashton's in the 9th frame. He'll get a strike. That's 2 in a row, a double for Ashton, with strikes in the 8th and 9th frames. Mason up now, lane number 2. Picks up 9, leaves the 10-pin. Liberty, spare attempt on lane number 1. Picks that up, nicely done. Jacob up now. Spare attempt for him on lane number 3. Picks that up. Nicely done. Mason now, spare attempt, lane number 2. Picks that up. That finishes his 8th frame. Riley starts out the 10th frame. Comes in a little heavy, leaves the 3-6-10. Michael down on lane 1, picks up 8, leaves the 4-8. That's starting his 9th frame. Liberty Benton gets them all to drop for a strike on lane 2. Riley picks up his spare. He'll get 1 more for the 10th frame. Michael picks up his spare in the 9th frame. Liberty with a strike on lane number 3. That's 2 in the 10th for him. Riley now getting ready for the last ball, 10th frame. And a strike for Riley, and he finishes with 160. And another strike for Liberty Benton over on lane number 3, and he finishes with a 225. 3 strikes in the 10th. Ashton gets 9, leaves the 10-pin on lane number 4. Mason, his spare attempt down on lane number 1, picks that up. That finishes his 9th frame. And a strike for Liberty Benton on lane number 3 to start the 10th frame, working on a strike in the 9th. Ashton missed his spare. That one came out of the gutter, so that'll have to be a scoring correction. Strike for Liberty Benton down on lane number 1 to start the 10th frame. Michael picking up 7, leaving the 2-4-5 on lane number 2. Another strike for Liberty Benton on lane number 3. Jacob with 9, can't get the 4-pin to drop. Michael picks up the spare. And Jacob picks up the spare in lane number 4. He'll get one more in the 10th. Ashton finished with a 171. Michael finishes with a 156. Liberty Benton's 5th bowler finished with a 198 with 3 strikes in the 10th. Carly Hohenbrink finished with a 170 in the first game. Ella Fox finishes with a 194 in the first game. Jacob Hull finishes with a 203 for the first game. Liberty Benton's first bowler finished with a 180 for the boys. Liberty Benton's first girl bowler finished with a 146. Their third bowler finished with a 127. Ashlyn Highfield finishes with a... Oh, she's got one more ball yet. Mason finishes with a 165. Liberty Benton's second girl bowler finished with a 143. Ashlyn will finish with a 136. Spencer finishes with a 214. Nice game, Spencer. Liberty Benton's fourth girl bowler finished with a 169. Liberty Benton's second boy bowler finished with a 145. Jalen starts the 10th frame with a strike, working on a strike in the 9th. Liberty Benton's 5th bowler finished with a 172. Liberty Benton's third boy bowler finished with a 222. Oh, Jalen did not start with a strike. She started with a 9. Evidently, we had to have pin reset. She'd missed the 7. Picks up the spare, though. Jalen will bowl her last ball here for game 1. And she'll pick up 8. Gives her a final score of 191. All right, so just double check. Michael Gallagher, 156. Mason Melia, 165. Riley Ehlers, 160. Ashton Kiesling, 171. Jacob Hull, 203. Total of 855. Liberty Benton with 180, 145, 222, 225, and 198 for a total of 970. So the boys are down 115 pins after the first game. The girls' scores: Carly Hohenbrink, 170. Ashlyn Highfield, 136. Jalen Rupel, 191. Ella Fox, 194. And Spencer Schweiger, 214 for a total of 905. Liberty Benton, 146, 143, 127, 169, and 172 for a total of 757. So the girls are up by 148 pins after the first game. Sophia's Coors is in for the girls now, and she picks up 9 on her first ball, leaving the 3-pin standing. Carly started out with a strike in the first frame. Ella also started out with a strike in the first frame. Spencer picks up 8 on her first ball, picks up the spare in 4-7. Sophia now, spare attempt. Oh, and she gets it. Gives it just a little nudge. Carly with a nice ball there for a strike on lane number 5. Liberty Benton picks up a strike on lane number 7. Jalen now up lane number 6. Start her first frame, second game. Nice ball for Jalen. Picks up the strike. Liberty Benton got 7 down on lane 8, leaving the 1, 2, and 8. Liberty Benton picking up 9 on lane 7, leaving the 3-pin behind. And 8 for Liberty Benton on lane 6, leaving the 4-7. Sophia back up for her second frame. Nice spare attempt there from Liberty Benton, picking up the 1, 2, 8 down on lane 8. Sophia gets 9, leaves the 10-pin standing. Liberty Benton here, spare attempt on lane number 6. And she picks it up. Nicely done. Liberty Benton up now on lane number 8. And she picks up 6, leaving a 1, 2, 5, and 9. Ella picking up 9, leaving a 7 pin. Sophia missed her spare attempt. She'll end up with 9 for the second frame. Liberty Benton missed the head pin on lane number 6, gets 7, leaving the 1, 2, and 4. Liberty Benton spare attempt on lane number 8. Picks it up, nice ball. Jalen with a strike down on lane number 5. Ella picks up her spare on lane number 7. So Jalen starts out the second game with a double. And a nice spare there by Liberty Benton on lane number 6. Spencer now, lane number 7. She gets them all to drop for a strike. Liberty Benton also with a strike on lane number 5. Carly also started out this first game with a double in the first and second frames. And this time she gets 9, leaves a 10 pin standing. Liberty Benton getting 8, leaving the 3-9 on lane number 7. Liberty Benton splits, leaving the 4, 7, and 10 down on lane number 5. Carly now, spare attempt. She's got it. Ella now up on lane number 8. That one looked like it might have come in a little bit high, leaves the 4 pin standing. Liberty Benton, spare attempt here, on lane 7, won't get any more. That's 8 for her third frame. Sophia up now, lane number 6 for Napoleon. And she gets a strike. Nice ball, Sophia. Ella picks up her spare on lane number 8. Liberty Benton misses the head pin, leaves the 1, 2, and 4 on lane number 7. Jalen now up on lane number 6. Spencer over on lane number 8. There's a strike for Jalen and a strike for Spencer. Now Carly's ready on lane number 5. That one comes in heavy, but it carries for the strike for Carly. And Liberty Benton picks up their spare on lane number 7. Liberty Benton coming in light to the pocket on lane number 6, leaves the 2, 4, 5, picks up 7. That was on lane number 6. Liberty Benton coming in high on lane number 7. Ends up leaving the 3 pin. Sophia gets a couple to drop. Looks like 4. Leaves the 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, and 9, it looks like. Nice spare conversion there by Liberty Benton on lane number 6, picking up the 2, 4, 5. Another spare conversion over on lane 7 for Liberty. Liberty Benton chops on lane number 8, picks up the 10, leaves the 6 pin standing. Ella now up lane number 7. And that one gets 8, leaves the 4, 7. Jalen now, lane number 5. That one comes in heavy, gets 9 to drop though, leaving the 6-pin standing. Liberty Benton picks up 1 more on lane number 6 out of 3. That'll be 8 total for her in the frame. Ella picks up her spare on lane number 4, or I'm sorry, lane number 7 in the 4th frame. Jalen picks up her spare on lane number 5. Carly now getting ready to start the 5th frame. And she gets 9, leaves a 10-pin. Spencer over on lane number 7. Strike for Spencer. All right, switch over to the boys here. Liberty Benton with a strike on lane number 3. Liberty Benton gets 9, leaves the 9-pin over on lane number 4. Liberty Benton trying to pick up a split here, picks up 2 out of the 3 down on lane number 1. Mason now up for Napoleon, lane number 2. And he gets 9, leaving the 7-pin standing. This will finish. This is for his 5th frame. Riley gets 9, looks like a 7-pin left. That's to start the 6th frame for him. Liberty Benton picks up their spare on lane number 4. Mason, spare attempt, lane number 2. Got it. And Liberty Benton with a split, leaving the 4-9 on lane number 4. Riley picks up his spare. Good cover on lane number 3. Liberty Benton picks up their spare down on lane number 1. Liberty Benton, spare attempt, lane 4, picks up 1 out of the 2. Liberty Benton now, lane number 2. Picks up 7. Ends up leaving the 2, 4, and 7. And a split from Liberty Benton down on lane number 1, leaving for 4, 6, 7, 10. Ashton picks up 9, leaving the 2-pin standing on lane number 3. Liberty Benton, spare attempt here, trying to get at least 2, and that's what he does on lane 1. Ashton now, spare attempt, lane number 3. He's got it. Liberty, spare attempt here, lane number 2. He's got it. Nice cover. We've got Owen Philpott in lane number 1. And he'll pick up 1, it looks like. Jacob now, lane number 3. Nice ball for a strike from Jacob there. Riley up next door, lane number 4. Riley with another nice ball. There's another strike for Napoleon. Liberty Benton picking up 8 on lane number 2, leaving the 4-7. Owen now, spare attempt. And he picks up the spare. Oh, Ashton splits, leaving the 4, 6, and 9. Liberty Benton comes in a little light, ends up missing the head pin, leaving the 1, 2, 8. Gets 7 on his first attempt. Spare attempt here by Liberty on lane 2. Misses that inside. He'll end up with 8 for the frame. Ashton trying to get at least 2 here on lane number 4. And that's what he does. Liberty Benton, spare attempt. Lane number 3 picks up 2 out of the 3. Mason gets 9, leaves a 10-pin standing down on lane 1. Jacob now, lane number 4. That one comes in a little light, ends up leaving the 2 and 5 standing. Gets 8 for the first ball. Owen now, lane number 2. That gets them all to drop for a strike for Owen. Mason now, spare attempt. Oh, we missed inside. Liberty getting 9 on lane number 3. Jacob picked up 1 out of the 2 on his spare attempt. Liberty Benton getting 8, leaving the 2 and the 4 standing on lane number 1. Strike for Mason on lane number 2. Riley up now, lane number 3, and a strike in the previous frame, frame number 7. And he can't get the 4 pin to drop. Liberty Benton, lane number 4, gets a strike. Liberty Benton picks up their spare over on lane number 1. Riley picks up his spare on lane number 3. Liberty Benton getting, not sure if it's 8 or 9 on lane number 1. Looked like the 10 pin might have dropped late. Ashton with a strike down on lane number 3. Liberty Benton with a strike on lane number 2. All right, switch back to the girls' match. Got Jalen up now on lane number 6 here. She had a spare in the previous frame, and she gets them all to drop for a strike. Nice ball, Jay. Carly working on a strike in the previous frame, frame number 7. This is frame number 8. Oh, and a 4 pin won't go down. 9 for her on her first attempt. Liberty comes in a little heavy, leaves the 6-10 on lane number 6. Liberty picks up their spare on lane number 8. Carly now, lane number 5, picks up her spare. Liberty Benton picks up their spare on lane number 7. And Liberty Benton picks up their spare on lane number 6. Sophia Coors steps to the line on lane number 5. And on lane number 7, Ella Fox. Ella gets 9, leaving the 4 pin. Sophia picks up 3. Liberty Benton picked up 7 over on lane number 8, leaving the 1-2-4. Liberty also getting 7 on lane number 6, leaving the 2-4-5. Liberty Benton, their spare attempt, picks up 2 out of the 3 on lane number 8. Sophia's spare attempt on the way. Picks up a couple more for a total of 6. Ella picks up her spare. And Liberty Benton with 1 out of 3 on lane number 6. We'll end up with 8 for the frame. That's frame number 8. Spencer now, frame number 8. And another strike for Spencer. It's at least 4 in a row that I can see. Carly now, lane number 6. And a strike for Carly. Jalen up on the left lane, lane number 5. 10-pin. Converts it. That'll close out her 8th frame. Ella up now to start the 9th foundation frame. Nice ball from Ella for a strike. Sophia now, lane number 6. And she gets 9, leaves a 9-pin. Liberty Benton getting 9. Looks like a 3-pin left on lane number 5. Spencer now, lane number 8, 9th frame. Another strike from Spencer. Sophia will end up with 9 in the 9th frame. Liberty Benton, their spare attempt on lane number 7 is successful. Riley finished the second game with a 180 with an open in the 10th. Jalen gets 9, leaves a 4-pin. Nine for Liberty Benton on lane number 5, leaving a 7-pin. 9 more for Liberty Benton on the 8th or lane 8, leaving a 6-pin. 8 for Liberty Benton on lane 7, splitting, leaving the 4-7. Jalen picks up her spare on lane number 6. Ashton Kiesling finished with a 180 in the second game. Liberty Benton's 4th bowler finished with a 192 with 3 strikes in the 10th and also strikes in the 8th and the 9th. Liberty Benton's 5th bowler, boy bowler, finished with a 178. Carly up to start the 10th frame. Gets a strike. Working on the strike in the 9th frame. Liberty Benton gets 9 on lane 6 and also on lane 8. Ella to start the 10th frame. Gets a 7 to wobble, but it won't go down. Carly with 9 for the second ball in her 10th frame. Liberty Benton picks up their spare on lane number 6 for the girls. Jacob Hull finishes the second game with a 210. Ella missed her spare attempt just inside, finishes with a 171. Carly finishes with a 216 for the second game. Spencer now, lane number 7. Gets 9, leaves the 6-pin standing. Liberty Benton's third girl bowler finished with a 119. Their fourth bowler finished with a 163. Liberty Benton's first boy bowler finished with a 195. Napoleon's first bowler, which was Owen, I'm not sure if he subbed in with Michael, finished with a 180. Liberty Benton's second boy bowler finished with a 127. Spencer finishes with a nice game of 268. Good job, Spencer. Liberty Benton's fifth bowler, girl bowler, has got 2 strikes working in the 10th. Jalen will start the 10th with 7, leaving the 3-6-10. Mason finished with a 185 in the second game. And 3 strikes in a row for Liberty Benton's fifth girl bowler, finishes with a 184. Liberty Benton's first girl bowler finished with a 174, and their second finished with a 122. Sophia finished with a total of 98. Jalen had picked up the spare. This is her last ball. And she'll pick up 8 more. And we'll finish with a 213 game. Nice game, Jay. So I've got an unofficial score of 935 in the second game for the boys to 888, which brings the match to 1790 to 1858. Napoleon down by 68 pins. On the girls' side, I've got unofficially 966 to 762. That brings it to 1871 to 1519, which puts them up by 352. We'll get in confirmation of the scores here in just a moment. All right, so yeah, Mason with a 185, Riley with a 180, Ashton with a 180, Jacob Hull a 210, and Owen Philpott as a 180. And for Liberty Benton, scores of 195, 127, 196, 192, and 178. So 935, 888. Yep, so that one checks out. On the girls' side, Carly Hohenbrink, 216. Sophia Coors, 98. Jalen Ruppel, 213. Ella Fox, 171. Spencer Schweiger with 268 for a combined 966. Liberty Benton, 174, 122, 119, 163, and 184 for a combined 762. So, yeah, both of those match up. All right, so Carly starts us off with a 6, leaving the 4, 6, 7, 10. She picks up 2 additional. Liberty Benton started off with 7, picks up their spare for the girls' side. Sophia's up next for Napoleon girls. And she'll pick up 9, leaving a 3-pin. Liberty Benton girls ends up picking up 7, leaving the 2-4-5. Napoleon boys started out the first Baker game with a strike. Liberty Benton boys get 9, left a 7-pin. Liberty Benton boys missed their 7-pin. Sophia now, spare attempt. She's got it. And another strike. This one coming from Mason Amelia on lane number 3 for the boys. Liberty Benton boys picking up 6, leaving the 1, 2, 3, and 8. Ellen out for the girls. And she picks up 8, leaving the 3, 6. And another strike for Napoleon boys. I'm sorry, 3 in a row for Napoleon boys. Liberty Benton boys pick up their spare on lane number 4. Ellen now, spare attempt. She's got it. Liberty Benton girls got 9 on their first ball. Looks like a 5-pin left. Another strike. It's 4 in a row now for Napoleon boys. Coming from Ashton Kiesling this time. Liberty Benton girls pick up their spare on lane number 8 in the 3rd frame. Liberty Benton boys go a little high, get 9. There's a strike from Jalen for the girls on the Napoleon side, 4th frame. And Jacob comes in light, misses the head pin, leaves the 1, 2, and 4, getting 7. Spencer now, lane number 7 for the girls. There's a strike for Spencer. Liberty Benton boys pick up their spare over on lane 4. Liberty Benton girls getting 9, leaving a 6-pin on lane number 8. Liberty Benton boys picking up the strike on lane number 4, getting the 10-pin to drop late. Carly getting 9, leaving a 5-pin for the Napoleon girls. And another strike, this one from Michael Gallagher on lane number 3 for Napoleon. Liberty Benton girls picking up their spare on lane number 8. Liberty Benton boys getting 8, leaving the 3, 6. Carly picking up the spare for the Napoleon girls. There's a strike for Liberty Benton girls in the 6th frame. Mason getting 7, leaving the 2, 5, and 8. Liberty Benton boys missed their spare attempt. They'll end up with 8 for the 5th frame. Sophia Coors on lane number 7 splits, leaving the 6, 7. Liberty Benton girls also split, leaving the 6, 7, 9, and 10. Mason picks up his spare down on lane number 3. That's in the 7th frame of the first game. And a strike from Liberty Benton boys on lane number 4. Riley Ehlers now. Napoleon on lane 3 picks up 9, leaves the 7-pin. Sophia will end up with 8 for the frame. There's a strike from Liberty Benton boys, 2 in a row now in the 6th and 7th frames of the first game. Riley now, spare attempt. picks that one up. And Liberty Benton girls will pick up, looks like 2 more. Ella's up now for the girls from Napoleon, and she puts 10 back for the strike. There's another strike for the Liberty Benton boys. That's 3 in a row now. Ashton up, 9th frame for Napoleon, first game. There's a strike for Napoleon. Jalen Rupel now, lane number 7 for the Lady Cats. Oh, and it split on her, leaving the 8-10. Another strike for the Liberty Benton boys. That's in the 9th frame. Jacob now for Napoleon boys. That one comes in light, ends up getting 9, leaving a 5-pin. Liberty Benton girls picking up their spare on lane number 8. Jalen looks like she's going to try and convert that. Missed to the outside. Liberty Benton boys come in light, get 5, leaving the 1, 2, 4, 5, and 10. Liberty Benton girls picking up 9, leaving a 6-pin. Spencer now, 10th frame, first game. A strike for Spencer. Liberty Benton picks up their spare for the boys on lane number 4. He'll get 1 more in the 10th. Jacob also with a spare in the 10th, getting 1 more. And Jacob will pick up 8 more. Napoleon will finish with a 224 on the boys' side in the first Baker. They'll pick up some more pins. The best that Liberty can do here with a strike would be 199. Liberty Benton girls picking up 8 in the 10th, leaving the 610. Spencer gets 9, leaving a 10-pin on her second ball. And Benton will finish with a 198, getting 9 on their last ball. Cuts the lead down to 42 pins. So Napoleon 42 pins behind Liberty Benton boys. On the girls' side, we've got 167 for Napoleon and 148 for Liberty Benton. That will extend their lead to 371 pins. All right, so both boys and girls have switched lanes, and they'll start the second Baker game. And Michael Gallagher will start the boys out with a strike. Liberty Benton boys now over on lane 3. They get a strike. That one came from wide out on the outside part of the lane before hooking back. Mason now for Napoleon, lane number 4. Comes in light, gets 6. Carly now up, lane number 8 for the Lady Cats, gets 9, leaves a 10-pin. Liberty Benton, this one also going wide. This time it doesn't come back. They'll pick up 3. That's on lane number 3. The Lady Eagles got 9 on their first ball, left a 5-pin. Spare attempt, missed. And Mason picks up his spare over on lane number 4. Nice ball from Mason. Liberty Benton, their spare attempt on lane number 3, also successful. Ella with 9, leaving a 4-pin standing. Liberty Benton girls finishing the 3rd frame with a total of 9. Ella now spare attempt, picks that one up. Liberty Benton girls get 8 on lane number 7, leaving the 4-7. 9 for Liberty Benton boys, leaving a 7-pin. Spencer now with a strike on lane number 8. That's 2 strikes in a row now. Can I get someone from the chat to kind of give me a shout out and let me know that everything's okay with the stream? We've had somebody text in and say that they were having issues with the stream. We want to make sure it's not, not on our end. It's Carly with 8 on her first ball, leaving the 4-7. And she'll pick it up. Liberty Benton splitting, ends up leaving the 4-6, 7-9, 10. Mason picks up the spare in the 7th frame for Napoleon boys on lane number 4. Liberty Benton picks up 1 out of 2 on the baby split, the 3-10 down on lane 3. Ashlyn Highfield gets 9, leaving a 5-pin on lane number 8. Riley with a strike for Napoleon on lane number 4. That was the 8th frame. And a strike for Liberty Benton boys down on lane number 3. That was in the 9th frame for them. Ashton ends up splitting, ends up leaving the 4-6 on lane number 4. Ashlyn picks up her spare in the 7th frame for the Lady Cats. Liberty Benton girls and pick up 8, ends up leaving the 6-10. Ella now up. Nice attempt from Ashton, picks up 1 out of the 2. Ella with a strike in the 8th frame for the Lady Cats. And Liberty Benton boys miss a spare attempt. They had a split. They'll finish with 162 in the 2nd. Jacob gets 9 to start the 10th frame. Jalen picks up 9, leaves the 5-pin on lane number 8 for the Lady Cats. That's 8 for Liberty Center on lane number 7 for the girls, leaving the 6-10. Jacob picks up his spare. He'll have 1 more. If he strikes out, he can get 168. That would pick up a few more pins. Jayla now, spare attempt, 9th frame. Picks it up. Liberty Benton won't get any more in the 8th frame. They'll get 8 total. And Jacob picks up 9. That's a 167. So I'm showing Napoleon down by 37 pins with 1 Baker game to go. Spencer with a nice ball there for a strike to start out the 10th frame. Liberty Benton getting 6, leaving the 2, 4, 5, and 7 on lane number 7. And Spencer with another strike in the 10th. Liberty Benton girls pick up their spare. It was in the 9th frame. Spencer now, last ball, 10th frame. Gets the 7 pin to drop. That's a strike for Spencer. And that's a game of 205 for the Lady Cats in the 2nd Baker game. Michael Gallagher starts out the 3rd Baker with a strike. There's a strike for Liberty Benton boys on lane number 3. Liberty Benton girls got a strike to start their 10th frame. This is her 2nd ball in the 10th now. And another strike in the 10th for her. Owen picks up 7 on his first ball, leaving the 1, 2, 8. Liberty Benton boys come in light on their 2nd frame, pick up 7, leaving the 1, 2, and 8. Identical leave to Owen. And Liberty Benton girls will finish with an 8 and a total of 141. Owen picks up 2 out of the 3. Liberty Benton's attempt at this spare now. And he gets all 3, picks up the spare. Riley ends up leaving a split, the 6, 7, and 10. So after the 2nd Baker game, I've got the Napoleon girls up by 435 pins. Carly starts us out with 9, leaves 10 pin. Ashton picks up 9, leaves a 7 pin. Riley did not get any more pins on his 2nd ball. Finishes with the 3rd frame with 7. Liberty Benton picks up their spare in the 4th frame. Carly picks up her spare in the 1st frame. Ashlyn gets 8 on her first ball, leaves the 6-10. Jacob with 9, leaving the 10-pin standing. Liberty Benton with the strike in the 5th frame. Liberty Benton picking up 7, leaving the 1, 3, and 6. Ashlyn with a nice spare conversion there, picks it up. Liberty Benton girls picking up, looks like 3 on their 3rd frame. Jacob missed his spare attempt on lane number 4 for the boys. Ella now picking up 8, leaving the 3-6. Liberty Benton girls pick up their spare, and Liberty Benton boys pick up their spare as well. Ella now, spare conversion, gets that one out wide, and it chops. Picks up 1. Liberty Benton boys picking up 8 on their first ball, leaving the 4-7. A strike for the Liberty Benton girls in the 4th frame. Michael Gallagher will pick up 1 out of 2 on the 5-7 split. Jalen picks up 8, leaves the 4-7. Liberty Benton boys missed their spare attempt on lane number 3. Liberty Benton girls split, ended up leaving the 3, 6, 7, and 10. Jalen now, spare attempt. She gets it. Owen picks up 6 on his first ball on lane number 4, leaving the bucket, the 2, 4, 5, and 8. Liberty Benton boys picking up 8, leaving the 3-6. Spencer now, 5th frame, last Baker game. Ends up sliding the 2-pin over almost into the 1-pin spot, and then the 5 and the 7 left, so this will probably have to get manually respotted. And a strike for the Liberty Benton girls. Riley Ehlers with a strike for the boys on lane number 4. Liberty Benton boys with opens in the 7th and 8th frames. Liberty Benton boys with another split, the 6-7. Ashton now leaving a, oh, he gets a 3 to drop, leaving just the 10-pin standing. Spencer now to attempt this spare, and she picks it up. Nicely done. Ashton picks up his 10-pin. Liberty Benton leaving the 3-6-10 down on lane number 3. Carly back up, 6th frame for the girls. And she gets 9, leaves the 10-pin. Jacob gets 9 to start the 10th frame. And Liberty Benton boys finish with a 152, going 4 opens in a row. Jacob picks up the spare, but even if he strikes out, the best he can do is 151. Liberty Benton girls pick up their spare on the 8th frame, lane number 8. Carly missed her spare attempt. That'll bring up Ashlyn now on lane number 7. And she ends up going across the head pin, leaving the 1, 3, and 6 standing, getting 7. So I've got a final score for the boys match, 23-32 for Napoleon and 23-70 for Liberty Benton. So Liberty Benton wins by 38 pins. Ashlyn picks up the spare in the 7th frame for the girls. And Liberty Benton misses their spare attempt in the 9th frame. Ella now up, 8th frame for Napoleon. And she gets 9, leaves the 5-pin standing. Liberty Benton starting the 10th frame. Starts out with a strike. Ella picks up the spare. Liberty Benton now. That one comes in heavy, leaves the 6-10 standing. Jalen gets 9, leaves a 4-pin. Last ball for Liberty Benton. Picks up the spare, and they'll finish with a 175. Jalen now, spare attempt. She's got it. Spencer now, 10th frame. And she'll start out with a strike. All right, so Napoleon with Baker games of 224, 167, and 151. Gives them a total of 542. Add that 1790, 2332. For Liberty Benton, Baker games of 198, 162, 152, total of 512. Gives them 1858. I'm sorry. Add that to 1858, gives them 2370. So Liberty Benton wins by 38 pins. Spencer with another strike in the 10th frame. And picks up 9 on her final ball and will finish with a 177. So I've got Baker games of 167, 205, and 177 for Napoleon girls. 148, 141, and 175 for Liberty Benton. We got an unofficial score of 24-20 to 1983. Napoleon girls win by 437 pins. We'll get the official score sheet and we'll confirm that, and then we'll get them up on the. We'll get these up on the screen anyway. All right, we've got sectionals starting this week. Starting on Thursday the 17th at 10 o'clock, we'll have the boys here at River City Bowlaway going off against the rest of the sectional field. Looking to place in the top 3 to move on to districts. And then on Friday the 18th, we'll have the girls here at River City Bowlaway for the girls sectional tournament. Again, top 3 teams moving on to district on our way back to hopefully getting back to state. All right, looks like Randy has disappeared with the score sheet. So if there's any scoring changes, I will update those on the YouTube page after the fact. But we're going to go with what we've got. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. As always, it's my pleasure. Hopefully we had fewer technical difficulties than we did during senior night. We'll see it starting at 10 a.m. on Thursday the 17th for the boys sectional. Everybody have a wonderful evening, and as always, go Wildcats.